Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends.
Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show. It is yours truly, David McCaig. It is July the 20th, 2018, and we're here live on location here at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie. And some of you listeners are going to know that, well, if you're listening to previous editions of the show, that we were supposed to be here on Thursday. We had a last-minute cancellation, so sincere apologies for that. We had to reschedule the show until today. And today being Friday, it's the end of a work week. Hope everyone has had a great work week. I know I've had, because I actually had the day off today leading up to today's recording. So not to rub it in, but you know, what better way than to tap off your Friday than listening to the Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show, The Game Sports Show. And tonight we have an amazing show, as always, planned for you. And tonight it's just going to be Justin Hykel and myself, as Brad Cochimilio has taken a vacation day today, much deserved vacation day. So we'll have Justin come in just a few moments, and I'm going to get through the agenda of the show in just a few moments as well. Just going to get through the usual introduction portion of the Game Sports Show. As I mentioned, we're here live on location at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, and we're here for their daily specials. That is the $9 schooners for most of Canadian Coors Light products, along with the $4 bar rails and the half price off appetizers. And you know, we have a long list of sponsors here on the Game Sports Show. And as I look directly across my table, Justin smiling and nodding his head, because we are very proud of that, obviously. And that usually jumps into a lot of our time here with our introduction. And you know what? I'm going to state the sponsors from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Just quickly, the Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, there is obviously Boston Pizza, Sports Center Bar and Grill, Silver Creek Golf Course, North Shore Sports and Auto, the Superior Pro Shop, the Salon, Discover the Canvas, Northern Critters in Need, Big Brother, Big Sister, and KBX Hockey, along with Northern Signs as well in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, the Wicked Sister and Pingator Cleaners. You can listen to the Game Sports Show like you most likely are right now on thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or you can listen to it on www.thegamesportshow.com. And also make sure to check out our merchandise that is for sale currently, and well, gonna be $25 it is only for a shirt, and the proceeds go towards charities Northern Critters in Need and Big Brother, Big Sister. Shout out to Scott Nason, our board operator tonight, as always, and also to the staff here at Boston Pizza, especially to the bringer of beer, Mitch Wilson. Now, getting to tonight's agenda before I bring in Justin Hykel here. Like I promised, I try to get a shorter introduction portion for the Game Sports Show as requested by the listeners, and I think I'm doing a record time when it comes to that. As producer Ghost tells me in my ear right now, this is the quickest intro and the best intro I think we've had in terms of listing everything. But getting to the agenda portion for tonight's show, it's going to be myself and Justin in this intro portion talking about a new announcement. A big new announcement that everyone's been waiting for the Game Sports Show that we're going to get to, along with some NHL news. Obviously, here in the first part, we're going to talk some more off-season news with some players re-signing and some rumors and some players discussions, along with giving Sports Center Bar and Grill, obviously one of our homes to the Game Sports Show, a little shout-out for an event that they have going on this weekend here in this first part of the Game Sports Show, July the 20th edition at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie. The second part, after our first break, we have a very special guest coming on the show, and that is former NHL player and current professional hockey player, Matt D'Agostini, coming on, a good friend of mine as well. And he has some stories to share with his career in the National Hockey League, along with his experiences overseas, and even his experiences as a father, as he is the proud father of 2 children as well. And after the Matt D'Agostini interview for part 3 of the show, we are going to conclude the show with some MLB news. And you know what? We're even going to mix in a little bit of basketball news here for today. Just give a little teaser for next week's Sports Center edition of the show. Now, quickly, before I bring Justin in now, the future shows for the Game Sports Show, we're going to be, obviously, we're here live tonight at Boston Pizza. We are going to be at Silver Creek this upcoming Sunday, which will be the 22nd. We're going to be there at noon. Myself, Justin, and Brad Cochimilio projected to be there as well. Hopefully he does not use a vacation day that day as well. And we have Colin Miller coming on the show on that Sunday edition of Silver Creek this week. And later this week, coming into Monday, July the 23rd, we have a show at the Wicked Sister, myself, Scott Nason, Butch Davis as well, Katie and EJ Russell. Along with Wednesday, we'll be at Sports Center Bar and Grill, myself, Matt Primo, and Jamie Antonello. And then listen to the Wednesday show for the projected agenda for the Boston Pizza and Silver Creek edition, as we do plan to have the Silver Creek show on Thursday next week and the Boston Pizza show on Sunday next week. But stay tuned to our Monday or Wednesday show this upcoming week for that information. Justin, that was a 4 minutes, 44-second introduction comparison to 7 minutes and 25 seconds it usually does. Getting that down on that intro point, as you know, I always get the little tease because we have so much to talk about. I'm going to bring you in here, and then we have an announcement to make. We have a very, 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 very special announcement to make that we're both very proud of, obviously, and that we are very excited about because it's some big news for the Game Sports Show. But before we get into that, Justin, I'm introducing you. How are you today, my friend?
Well, you know, we made it another week. It's Friday. It's a busy weekend here in town, too. Lots going on. Hoping to have some nice weather. It's a Rotary Fest this weekend. Sports Center has a gathering going on there this weekend. So it should be good.
Definitely. The Rotary this weekend, I was down there today. Okay, and before we even jump into that announcement with the sponsor, I got to share this funny story that I shared with you off air. I go today to the Rotary. You know, I slept in today because of a later evening last night. We had baseball. The Renegades had a 15-14 win yesterday. We'll have that little in our baseball tweak out when it comes to talk about some baseball, with yours truly getting yet another hit, extending his hitting streak. But before I had a late night, I woke up a little bit later than I wanted to this morning on a nice day off. And you know what? We had our plans today for myself to go to the Rotary for the day. And then after that, we had our show here. And then we have a RV cruise tonight that I'm pretty excited and looking forward to. But Justin, the whole point of the story is woke up today in a good mood. Not only because I've had the day off and because of the exciting weekend that's going on here in the Sioux, but I went to the bank and I had $400 in my bank account. And I don't mean just $400 total. I mean, I had $400 transferred to me from the government into my bank account. I had absolutely no idea how that got in there. And you know what? I'm proud of what's in my bank account now from before, what it used to be like. But having that $400, I noticed it. And I was extremely excited. And I said, what perfect day to start your Friday? Get some money in your bank account. Then I went over to the Rotary and bought a ticket for the Corvette and the Ford Explorer draw. Obviously, I'm going to win the Corvette. Just a little spoiler alert here. But I went out and got your ticket. Got to make sure you get down and get your ticket. That's a good prize to win. Obviously, you have a chance for the Corvette of $75,000 cash, along with winning an additional $10,000 in your pocket. So, little shout out to the Rotary Fest this week. It's always a big part here at Sault Ste. Marie. And obviously tomorrow, which is Saturday the 21st, it'll be Community Day that you want to make sure that you are a part of as well. It's supposed to be, the weather, it's been hit and miss. It's supposed to be hot, it's supposed to be humid, it's supposed to rain, it's supposed to be windy. It's all over the map, it seems like. But I think tomorrow's going to be like a day that it is today. Humid, warm, some spots of sun, but mostly cloudy. The breeze is nice, though, by the water, I will share. So make sure you get out and enjoy Rotary Fest. Producer Ghost liked how we threw that Rotary in there. That's one thing that I added to the agenda. I'd like to get that point out. But you and I, Justin, have an announcement to make right now, along with the Game Sports Show and the Game Sports Show staff. Yesterday, we finalized a deal. The rumor that was the worst-kept secret in Sault Ste. Marie, man, I didn't know people were asking, sending me messages and asking because they heard about a new partner coming on the Game Sports Show, and it is 100% official that the Game Sports Show has a new partner and a new sponsor. We like to refer to them as a partner because of our plans together and how we are going to invest in each other and help out each other in terms of our local presence. Northern Superior Brewery. Northern Superior Brewery is now a part of the Game Sports Show, and we will be actually having live on location shows at Northern Superior Brewery. Now, that will start in August at the brewery. The first day that we'll be at Northern Superior Brewery will be August the 5th. There at the brewery, we're going to be outside at Pier 55 for that one. So going to make sure you come on to our launch show. Make sure you keep an eye on Northern Superior's Facebook page and their Instagram page and all that for, little plugins about the Game Sports Show. And also this year, when it comes to the September months, when it comes to hockey season, we will be on location at Northern Superior Brewery every Thursday at 7:30. And speaking of that, because of bringing in that tremendous sponsor, having that tremendous partner of Northern Superior Brewery, we have a plan to also do the same kind of schedule that we do on Mondays for the Game Sports Show, 1 hour live and an hour podcasted. As with the Northern Superior Brewery edition of the Game Sports Show, we're going to be focusing on the NOJHL in terms of the Sioux Thunderbirds, and we're also going to be working with our partnership with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds and our Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds updates as well. So that first hour will focus on local hockey, as the second hour will be professional hockey for that Thursday show, along with a variety of sports that we usually follow here on our Thursday edition. Now, not to confuse anyone with our summer, we're not going to jump into that whole spiel. Everyone knows what show we talk about. If you do not know, you can look at our About page or the description of each sports page on our website. But I'm definitely proud to announce the sponsorship and partnership with Northern Superior Brewery. Now, we've been getting a lot of feedback about what we're going to do for merchandise, and the merchandise part's going to work, and how if we're going to have a beer named after the show. Well, I can't share any information when it comes to the product side of things, but our T-shirts are remaining the same. But we're going to be adding the Northern Superior Brewery onto the shirts, and you can pick up those shirts by simply filling out an order form on our website for that. Justin, any comments or anything towards Northern Superior Brewery coming on officially of the Game Sports Show?
I mean, I don't know if they're welcoming us aboard or if we're welcoming them aboard, but it's definitely a cool thing to have going on with the show, to keep building these local partnerships.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing what we're all about, is keeping things local and getting the community involved, and just kind of building this sense of community back within the local sports. I don't want to say community too many times here, but I feel like I'm saying community too many times. But like that's what's important to us, is have this big local feel to it, and I think bringing Northern Superior on with the success they've had and the success we've had, it's a great relationship.
I like that on the intro side of things that you just said, that they're welcoming us aboard. I like to say it that way. The Northern Superior Brewery, with their corporate, their marshal, and also I'll give a special shout out to Trevor Zachary, who has been, stick his neck out for us, I think, a little bit extra in terms of reaching out to us, and him knowing that we are this Twin Sault's only regional, national, and local sports show. I should say that in the right order: local, regional, national sports show, because that's what's in the slogan there. Having that, and we did cover a lot of professional sports since the show has started. However, now we've last year and a half or so made sure we focus on the local end, and bringing in a lot of local sports. We've had a partnership with Sioux Eagles, the LSSU Lakers. We've had that on that end, but now bringing it over to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario side, it was a easier road to travel for us a little bit, building up to it, because of being the main point of media for local sports and being the only sports show for that. Having the Thunderbirds and having the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds doing all that coverage, it's absolutely amazing, because to be able to talk local, regional, national, like our slogan says, that definitely defines. And like you said, Justin, it's always great giving back to the community, especially with those shirts that we have for sale, and also the plans that we have. And people have asked about those additional plans that we have with the brewery. The brewery that is. I've been asked questions not only just about products, as if the Game Sports Show is going to get its own location one day. Now, I had a question from a listener, a very loyal listener, and I'm going to answer his question and say that that is a goal of the Game Sports Show, is to one day have our own location. But you know what? We are now focusing on that. We're always going to be live on locations for that. We're going to be live on locations for every show that we do. For as long as my heart is beating for this show, we're going to always have shows live on location, have that feel in the community, our faces in the community, and also bring that presence and on-air presence. But I would love to have a location for the Game Sports Show, for an office for the community, and for listeners to be able to drop in and talk, or also to inspire local artists as well. I know I have visions for this show, and I'm starting to share it more in terms of perspective of making sure to involve the community in the local side and also the professional side. So to answer the individual's questions, yes, that is a plan of the Game Sports Show, is to continue to grow, but it's to grow with these partners that we currently have, and to also grow together, because in the Sioux, everyone seems to make it that it's a competitive nature. But you know what? When you have local businesses and local organizations, or local sports shows like ourselves, us being the only show, obviously, but us having the goals and dreams, when you have the same interest to grow and get big together, or just grow in general together in terms of local community, and you make sure you share those values, and you don't put a price tag on that. You just help out each other. So to answer that loyal listener's question one more time, yes, the plans for the show are to continue to grow, is the way I'm going to put it. Moving on to the next part, before I do, I will say once again, thank you to Northern Superior Brewery for taking us aboard and making us a partner with them. Looking forward to having that partnership as the Game Sports Show, continues to ascend. Justin, we're going to jump into the show though now. We're right on time with this right now, which is absolutely amazing. We're at the 14-minute mark right now. We got about 7 or 8 minutes here to talk about a little bit about some NHL news before we bring in Matt D'Agostini, who has actually just arrived. So we have him enjoying some beer, courtesy of the bringer of beer, Mitch Wilson. We're going to talk a little bit of NHL chat here about some just little updates that have gone on. It's slowed down since July 1st, obviously, but there has been some movement. There's been some rumors that's come up. There's been some players that have re-signed. And you have Jaromir Jagr, who is not looking at returning to the NHL for a season. You have Laurie re-signing with the Jets. You have some other re-signings that have occurred in the National Hockey League the past week. Jimmy Vesey re-signing. You have Stefan Noesen signing with New Jersey again. You have Ryan Pollock re-signing. You have Chris Tierney re-signing, Madison Bowie re-signing in Washington. So you have some re-signing that's going on in Alice Lindholm, who we're going to talk about. This is your topic, spoiler alert, that you kind of want to bring up in comparison to maybe potential contract that we're going to be referring to that will connect to our Leafs discussion for sure. And then Ryan Hartman with Nashville Predators, who gave up a first-round pick for him, re-signing. So, a little bit of news on the minor on that front. And then obviously we have Alex Ovechkin, and we're going to talk about at the end part of our NHL discussion. So I want to jump in and talk about Jaromir Jagr first. Kudos to the guy still playing hockey. And for him not to come back to the NHL, he doesn't have to rush that at all. The guy is the Stanley Cup winner. He's the accolades that the guy has, absolutely amazing. Do you think there's a rush for him to come back?
No, I think he's pretty well going to do what he wants to do at this point. I think he's hit pretty well. I mean, I don't know. We're not in his head, but I'd like to say he's hit every milestone in his career that a professional athlete would set out to hit. I mean, he's played in the Olympics. He's played in World Championships. Has he played in the Spengler Cup? I'm not sure, but maybe that's next.
Yeah.
Given because I can see him playing. Is he going to play in the Czech Republic next year? Has that been confirmed? Or?
Yeah, I think he is playing overseas.
Yeah, so he's probably going to play on the team that he owns. It's probably a good setup. You don't have to
pay to play.
You're the boss. So
yeah.
You're one of your potential top players. You're not taking a paycheck. That's all right.
Yep.
You know what? He's had a really good career. You can't take anything away from the guy. And if he wants to come back to the NHL at some point next year and he's having a heck of a season, I'm sure there's a team that'll welcome him. I don't see that an NHL team shying away from not necessarily the leadership that he brings, but just the commitment to being a player.
I really thought he'd be a good fit in Arizona because of young guys that are around there and just the media not being so heavy, and he's able to go there and they're able to pay him as well. And I think he'd be a good fit in Arizona. I always thought that, or even with the Detroit Red Wings. Having some veteran guys as they want there, but not to have pressure. He's won a Stanley Cup. I'm sure he'd like to win another one. But he's at that age now where he's just enjoying the game and playing, and he's still putting up decent numbers and still effective. So I'd like to see him play one more year in the National Hockey League. But he even has stated, and it's confirmed by NHL.com, that Jaromir Jagr is not looking to return to the NHL this season. So moving on from that, you have some re-signings that I've just brought up in terms of with Bowie, with Vesey, with Chris Tierney, and also with Torrey Stetcher resigning in Vancouver, and that was just today that happened actually, and Adam Laurie with the Jets. The re-signings that have happened, which ones do you want to discuss here, Justin?
Well, I mean, even just to touch on the Jimmy Vesey one, I think we both talked about this off air, and we both feel like maybe the Leafs dodged a bullet with that one. Not honing in on him and recruiting him. Maybe he's a little more of a rough project for the Rangers. You see him build him up. The Rangers are looking at what we'd like to maybe say a mini rebuild. So Vesey's a project that team can develop because he's from the college ranks.
Yeah.
And see, I don't think he's worth writing off. He was worth the re-sign. It's a reasonable deal, and the risk reward is, almost unbeatable with a player like that.
Absolutely, and obviously a lively atmosphere at Boston Pizzas. Everyone's going to enjoy the patio right now as well, so hopefully you, the listeners, are able to hear clearly as well. Usually we don't have a problem with that, but make sure if you don't hear, if there's any clarity problems in terms of our broadcasts ever, if it's on the Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Sunday show, make sure you reach out to myself, Scott, or Justin, and we can make those a better, we can accommodate that for you. But we haven't had those bad negative feedback yet, so that is a good thing, but I want to give a shout out to Boston Pizza here for having a busy patio as everyone's enjoying the hot weather and the humid weather. But continuing with the question I've asked Justin, the one that really stands out to me in terms of re-signing is most definitely Adam Lowry with the Winnipeg Jets. They had Paul Stastny leave this year, and they moved Joel Armina. They moved out some contracts this year, and probably in expectation to re-sign Paul, as we've already discussed here on the Game Sports Show. And now they have a little bit more cap space to use. They have, they could probably make a trade for a good forward if they want to. I'm sure the Jets are not done this offseason. They're done on defensive end and in goal, re-signing Connor Hellebuck, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind bringing another forward or two. They showed how positive and how big of an effect that was for Paul Stastny being there, so they might go down that road. But Adam Lowry is a big forward, and Paul Maurice is a big fan of Adam as well, as he said here on the Game Sports Show in February. One of the editions we had in February with Paul that you can hear on the GameSportsShow.podbean.com, and we plan to have Paul on one more time this summer, hopefully live on location if he ever releases, when he is for sure coming home, as he likes to keep it to himself with that, rightfully so. But Adam Lowry is a player that he likes to use, and it's definitely the kind of player Paul Maurice definitely thrives having. So out of the signing, that's a great signing. Only $2.917 million cap hit for 3 years. It's a good gamble by the Winnipeg Jets to have a nice young forward locked up there who has a good presence in the locker room and is always, loves the game, and he has a great presence on the ice as well, fits in as a top 9 forward. He can play any part of the Winnipeg Jets lineup. Another shout out to Madison Bowie getting a contract. The guy played with the World Juniors, on the Connor McDavid team and the Darnell Nurse team. They had a very good team then. He has 2 years. It's a $1 million cap for the next couple of years. Obviously, like a bridge deal, I think Washington's doing with that to see if Madison can continue to ascend in the right direction in his career. Justin, moving on from that, we're gonna talk about here quickly a couple more topics before we go to break before Matt comes on the show. In terms of contracts, this is a big thing about the offseason. We talk a lot of contracts, okay? And the Calgary Flames re-signed Endless Lindholm to 6 years, 29.1, which is 4.85. Nashville signs Ryan Hartman for 1 year, $875. Before I jump into Calgary's re-signing, because it's going to lead towards a Toronto Maple Leaf discussion, the Nashville Predators took a 1 year deal on RFA, which seems like a 1 year bridge kind of deal, if that would make sense, because they traded a first round pick for this guy from the Chicago Blackhawks. Usually you're trading a first round pick for a guy, you're gambling a lot of your future, but the Nashville Predators took this risk in getting Ryan. It was actually a good fit, and they signed him for a pretty good deal. But if Ryan comes in and gets 50-plus points, there's a time where Ryan might be demanding $4 million next year, where I think Nashville should have took the presence of saying, look, let's do a 2 or 3 year deal. You're an RFA, try that bridge and get much like what we saw. I guess it would be what Washington did there with Madison. 2 different positions, but at the end of the day, you could have adjusted it that way with jumping to that already. Ryan Hartman being able to say, look, here's $2 million for 2 years, or so that I guess that'd be $4 million, and have that bridge contract, because I think he is a $2 million guy that you could have thrown at that, and he would have taken that deal. But Ellis Lindholm, his contract again, 6 years, $29.1 million, $4.85 million. Now, this is interesting because we have a contract situation potentially coming up in Toronto that we don't have to necessarily worry about at this current time, but we have to start keeping an eye on it. We have to start saying, okay, what is going to happen? Now, Justin, you brought up a very good point, and this is 100% your topic that I withdrawn this from, so I got to say that. The Leafs have to sign William Nylander. Now, I'm going to comment because I know exactly what you're going to bring up and what you're going to say. So I'll let you say what you say before I comment. But this is going to tie in with a Leaf chat right now. But asking your own question to yourself, is this the type of contract that Dubas is going to use towards Nylander? Just a bridge deal that the Leafs are going to use as a negotiation point?
To me, I think it's a good benchmark or a starting point for a deal. I don't necessarily think that Nylander's going to have such a low cap hit, because Lindholm's only sitting at about a 4.8 or 4.85.
Yeah.
But I think Nylander's more of a scoring threat, whereas Lindholm's more of a playmaker. So in the league, you are paying more for goals than you are assists. So,
Makes sense.
I think maybe this confirms what we were all thinking all along, that he's probably in the $6 million range.
Yeah. Because he can do both.
Well, that's the thing, right? He can play center, but I think they're looking to keep him on the wing. That's where they want him. So I feel maybe his negotiating point is going to be that I'm a center and a winger. I don't know. We don't know how his camp's going to go, but Lindholm at the center position at 4.85 and a semi-bridge deal, I think bodes well for us contract-wise going into the Nylander negotiations and moving forward with Marner next year and so on and so forth.
I think that's the starting point. I'll echo that before we go to our final point, before we go to a little shout-out to SportsCenter before we go to our break, I should actually say. But I think that's the type of thing where Dubas is going to go in and say, all right, Lindholm is a guy who gets his assists. We looked at his stats. He's not a guy who snipes 20, 30 goals. He might come that guy. Never know what's going to happen. But he's a playmaker type forward. Okay? And Nylander can do both. Nylander can play center and wing. I can tell you from individuals that have negotiated contracts, we got somebody right now that is a friend of the show and that is on the show Sunday who just negotiated a contract. All right? That best fits his needs. I actually thought Colin would be worth more, but obviously I'm not diving at Colin with that, but I think Vegas is getting a deal for a guy who is their top scoring defenseman. But getting back to Lindholm and the Toronto Maple Leafs contract negotiation with William Nylander, Dubas has to start with this value. I think this is where you start. Nylander is better than Lindholm, in my opinion. I mean, I shouldn't say better. Professionally speaking, I mean that he is a better fit for his organization and it makes more of an impact. Okay? So I think you're exactly right. The $6 million range that you and I have discussed, and Brad, and how we've all talked about all along, this is what's going to happen. That's where Nylander's going to try to get to. But I honestly think he's going to re-sign for 5.5 or 5.25. I think Dubas is going to get that at a 4 or 5 year deal, and I think he's going to get him at that value for that, because by the end of that 4 or 5 year deal, he'll be a UFA. And that UFA, that means he can hit the open market at that current time, and he can maybe demand top dollar, like the $8 to $10 million range by that time, if he continues to improve and get as good as a player that he is. But is he going to get more than Lindholm? Absolutely he is. Is he going to get less than Lindholm? Absolutely not. How much more did you get more than Lindholm? I'd be surprised if he went over $750,000 more. Just saying. Especially if the years are less. Final topic before we go to our break, before we bring in Matt D'Agostini. Alexander Ovechkin has won Male Athletes of the Year at the ESPYs. I don't know if it's because of his partying. I'm just kidding. Alex Ovechkin had a great hockey season, plus he won the Stanley Cup. But the first NHL player to do that, Justin, you've confirmed that, correct?
Yeah, that's. I confirmed it via Wikipedia, but that's as what the internet told me. He is the first NHL player to win Male Athlete of the Year at the ESPYs. So it's pretty cool to see our I don't want to say our sport, because it's not, but it's our main claim to fame here on the show. We chat a lot of hockey, and it's nice to see a hockey player getting a little bit of credibility in the American media, where otherwise it's usually
especially him as a Russian.
Baseball, basketball. Well, I mean, maybe that's the angle. American-Russian relations that are at an all-time high right now. LOL.
Scott Nason's in my ear right now saying, easy.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's your president.
So,
sorry.
Maybe your boy Ovi is going to be the next vice president. Who knows?
Oh, God. Definitely congratulations to Alexander Ovechkin winning. That's a great accomplishment. What a great year for Alex Ovechkin. And shout out to one of my best friends, Jerry Patingolo, who's a big fan of Alex Ovechkin. Was his favorite hockey player. I think he actually played a lot like him because they're built the same in terms of, roughness in the corner and scoring goals and getting points. The guy's a retired number for the Thunderbirds, for God's sakes. But let me tell you, it's definitely a player that's to enjoy to watch, is my point for bringing that up. And definitely an exciting player to watch, and it's a well-deserved Stanley Cup win. He's long awaiting that. I know a lot of people dislike Ovechkin for his antics, but there's a guy who's truly passionate about the game of hockey, and that's, as a hockey fan and a sport fan, it makes you appreciate that. It makes you appreciate him. So, well-deserved, and congratulations to Alexander Ovechkin. Now, before we go to our break, I got to give a shout out to Sports Center Bar and Grill, one of the homes to the Game Sports Show, one of the many homes, as it seems, and many long list of sponsors that we have here on the Game Sports Show. They're hosting this weekend a 1993 Memorial Cup reunion for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, as I've learned from you, Justin. And I've reached out to casual staff member Dustin Grondin in terms of that, because himself being with Molson and hosting that current event. Hopefully yours truly and yourself can maybe get on there to meet and discuss some stuff for some of the players, have some sound bites and some interviews for next week's show. But besides that, definitely get out to Sports Center Bar and Grill, period, in general, even for that event or in general. Great food and obviously great staff there at Sports Center Bar and Grill. And Frank Ligori, I can't thank you enough for obviously what you've done for the show, because if you all remember from when the show started, he was one of the individuals, along with the Wicked Sisters, Kathy and Scotty at the Wicked Sister, for getting all of us started where we are. And now today we announced a sponsorship with Northern Superior Brewery and a partnership agreement, which is fantastic and very exciting for the Game Sports Show. But make sure you get out to Sports Center Bar and Grill for that reunion, if possible, to locate, maybe take a couple pictures, get your kid out there, get the little ones out there to enjoy that as well. So we're going to take our first break here on the Game Sports Show. When we come back, we got a very special guest. He's got a lot to talk about. Don't go anywhere. We're right back here on The Game.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsoo.as.me-. The Salon, making the Sioux beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful, new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Check out our brand new website, up and running now at thegamesportshow.com. There you can find past broadcasts of all our shows from the Wicked Sister in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and Boston Pizza and Sports Center Bar and Grill in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. As well, you can find our brand new t-shirts available for just $25 a shirt. All sizes are available, and proceeds will go towards Northern Critters in Need and Big Brother, Big Sister of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Now you can purchase the shirt by emailing thegamesportshowssm@gmail.com. Please state the total amount of shirts and size needed. They have payment options available, e-transfer, or cash upon delivery, as a shirt can be delivered to your location if you live in the Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and Ontario area, free of charge. TheGameSportsShow.com, where you find all your local, regional, and national sports that you just can't get enough of.
Hi, this is Joe Bowen, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show from Sault Ste. Marie.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, Dave McCaig, live on location at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, and I'm bringing in my good friend, good hockey player, I may add as well, Matt D'Agostini. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Kegger. Thanks for having me, Ben.
Absolutely. Very happy that you were able to come by today for your first appearance on the Game Sports Show. You know, I reached out to Tony and I said, listen, I lost Maddie's number. I need to get his number from you, not because I want to hit on him, because I want to ask him to come on the radio show. And I've been trying to get you know, and I'm very happy that you took the time to come on. And just today, you and I are just going to go back and forth, talk about, you know, your experiences in Europe and playing pro hockey and all that fun stuff, and keep it like and this has a patent pending on it, but barstool kind of atmosphere, I like to call it. You know, we'll keep it loose and we'll have fun, and we're just enjoying some Molson products while we're here too. So I'm going to have Justin Hykel here as well, who's going to be asking questions as well to you, and we're just going to go underway here, and we're going to jump right into everybody knows you from starting in the OHL. You moved from the OHL up. You actually played for the Stars. Okay, so you played for the North Stars, went to the OHL after that. Then you had some time in the American Hockey League. You played with Montreal. You played with St. Louis Blues. You went over from St. Louis Blues overseas. You played in Switzerland with Geneva, and also right now you're playing for...
it's called Ambri Piotta, but yeah, you know, I do have one of those nice stories to tell of... you know, kind of almost giving up on hockey at a time. You know, there was a time where I was small, and when a lot of players, Tyler Kennedy, Kelsey Wilson, a lot of players, Nick Plastino in the 86 born year started moving up to Junior A, Junior B, and I was kind of, that's when I played for the North Stars, and, you know, I was ready to, you know, I was disappointed, you know. Yeah. But... and then it just happened, you know. You get a tryout here and there, you hit a growth spurt, and you know, things took off when I went to golf there that first year.
So you had a lot of great years in the OHL, 2 great years. You had 46 points one year, you had 79 the next, 25 goals, 54 assists. I always thought of you more as a sniper, which I'm sure you like to classify yourself as. And, you know, you also spent time with New Jersey and Pittsburgh and Buffalo that I should most definitely add as well. And you're also, on the personal side of things, you're married to someone who I know very well, who's kind of related to me through marriage. Not sure if you knew that or not, but fun fact. You also have 2 children as well. How's that life going? You know, we're going to jump into a lot of hockey here, but why not bring up that side? I'm sure you're enjoying fatherhood, enjoy being married, and being overseas in Switzerland must be absolutely beautiful as well.
Yes, it's definitely one of the... It's actually all I talk about nowadays is I walk around bragging about my kids, but they've had a great upbringing, obviously, so far, being able to grow up in Switzerland. My boy's turning 5 this September, and this will be our 5th year there, so he pretty much knows that is home more than North America. And you know, he's speaking Italian over there because we're in that kind of area now, and he's been going to kindergarten there, so he's actually one of the few Sioux people who can actually speak real Italian already.
Yeah, I think
so
I could, but I can't.
No, he's putting me to shame already. So, I mean, seeing things like that, and you know, the life he's lived already, it's pretty amazing.
So before I bring Justin in, I gotta share the microphone with Justin here, obviously. But I know we saw a friend of ours coming in here, Kelsey Wilson. You know, and I know you mentioned him, and you mentioned Nick Plastino as well, whom you currently play with as well. I like asking this because I know when you and Kelsey, when we were talking here before we came on air, we had some funny stories that we were sharing back and forth with each other. So can you tell the listeners some stories between especially you and Kelsey?
Well, I mean, we had a tight group growing up, but yeah, me and Kelsey were always the best of friends at a young age, so we ended up, he went to play junior in Sarnia earlier, and then when I got to Guelph, I remember him calling me and saying, I think I'm going to get traded, I haven't been playing a lot, the coach, we're not really getting along, and, the next thing you know, he got traded to Guelph with me, so to be growing up with him, and then we ended up playing junior hockey together, that was definitely, that was something we'll always remember.
Absolutely.
I recall, especially from coming out of Sault Ste. Marie and playing in Guelph with yourself. Would you pick a fight with him? Would you pick a fight with him? Put you on the spot.
I have picked fights with him, and I've won them. So it's, I mean, he's a big teddy bear at heart. You just got to know where to get him. Yeah, I've seen him in some epic battles in the OHL. Man, he went up against the league's toughest. You remember a name, Boris Valabic is the name I always throw out.
Yeah, okay.
He was like a 6'8" giant from Czech Republic, I believe, or Slovakia maybe. And Kels would go them, man. We'd play Kitchener, division rivals. And I remember one game, Valabik caught him good right on the button, and Wills went down. But he got up, kept trying to fight. And on the bus ride home, I remember I turned around, and his eyes were just black, and they looked closed. And I thought he was sleeping. I remember just staring at him, and I thought he was sleeping. I said, and he goes, "What the fuck are you looking at?" I said, "Holy shit, you scared me. I thought you were sleeping. I was just staring at him." But yeah, he's been through hell and back, that guy.
Chime in, obviously, here.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty good story, but like, now
I got the Plastino.
You got another Sault Ste. Marie connection later on in your career, which is pretty cool. I mean, like how the Sault Ste. Marie stuff, where you're like, no matter what walk of life you're in, it seems to work out somewhere. No matter where you are in the world, you meet someone from the Sault. It's crazy like that.
It is.
I mean, I want to touch on just a little bit that you've had some Spengler Cup experience. I mean, that's actually one of my most favorite tournaments to watch because the crowds look insane. Like, it looks like it's a party there. Like, is it actually, like, is it as crazy as it looks, or how is that, like, what's that environment like there?
Yeah, it's a great environment. I mean, you got a lot of nations coming around. There's always a team from either Finland or the Czech or Russia and Switzerland, obviously, and they come in waves with their family and friends, and it's a great atmosphere in Davos there. It's Christmas time, and it's snowing, and it's big tournament going on, and when you play for Team Canada, it still feels like I'm playing for the Olympic team, and you're putting on the crest, and you appreciate that, man. So, I mean, I would never turn that down. Every time they've asked me, I've went, and we've had great Christmases there, and something you always remember.
See, the one thing that must be very nerve-wracking, something that I haven't experienced, because it wasn't good enough to get there, like Dags or even Kals. So I must say, like, to have that first touch on the ice. Do you remember your first National Hockey League game? Do you remember that feeling that you had? Do you remember what was going through your head? Were you like, holy fuck? Was that what was going through your head, or did you get sick, or were you that typical Sioux mentality? We're like, you know what? I'm good enough to be here. Or did you have that confidence, or do you remember the feeling because it was probably so surreal?
You know what? I think when the time did happen, a little bit of that confidence and that swagger kind of takes over in the moment when you need it to be there. But I mean, definitely nerves. But I look back on it now, and I got more anxiety as I get older now, I think, so I'm nervous about everything, but I mean, I treated it like it was nothing, like it was just what I was doing. But I remember my first shift, it was, I actually jumped out there, and I got a hard rim on my backhand right on the boards as soon as I jumped out, and I missed it. It went by me, and we were playing Buffalo. Derek Roy got the puck, and he deked me, and I tripped him, and I went to the box for 2 minutes. I think I might have played 7 or 8 seconds and went in the box.
That's funny. You were drafted by Montreal, 6th round, 190th overall. You did grow up a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, much like myself being a Leaf fan, whom have made tremendous moves this offseason, I feel, especially signing Johnny Tavares, definitely a massive signing for sure. But you were around Montreal, the passionate fan base, even playing, if it's the Leafs, if it's Montreal, if it's New York, Chicago, Detroit, Boston, whatever the original 6 teams that you're playing for, any of those passionate hockey fan bases, it's definitely hockey must be amazing. The arena just buzzing at all times. But there's also the other side of things where the media is always on you in the spotlight. And you know what? I even remember clearly that season where you were just lighting the lamp. You were getting a lot of that media attention, swarmed by the media in the locker room. Was that an effect? Is that an issue in those big markets? Does that affect players? Did that affect you at all, or did you just absorb it all?
No, it definitely catches you off guard, and then, as I went through like a little streak where I made the team and I started scoring some goals and, feeling comfortable, and you do start getting the media attention, and it feels nice at that time, you know. But things do turn quickly in those markets, and when they're not going well, it's, you know, you kind of know when it's contract time, and that time you might be heading out. So I remember that year in Montreal, all those young guys, you know, O'Byrne, Chipchura, me, the Kostitsins, Higgins, Commissar. In like year and a half, it was kind of like everyone was out, like started refreshing down there. But when I got to St. Louis, it was kind of a breath of fresh air because it was, I don't want to say more laid back, but it wasn't that Montreal atmosphere. Yeah. And it was, you know, that's where I had my funnest years, I think, in the NHL over there in St. Louis.
So you mentioned some of those guys that were veterans or played some games before you went in there. Did you walk in that locker room, and did you have a veteran that kind of took you under your wing at the time you were there? Did you have somebody you came close with in the locker room? Someone who made you feel like the Nick Plastinos or the Kelsey Wilsons or the Tyler Kennedys? Tyler Kennedy, who we've had on the show about a month or so ago, and he was talking praise about being in Pittsburgh with Sidney Crosby, obviously, and winning a Stanley Cup there, and having that kind of person to look up to and be around, or that kind of exposure to someone of that talent. Is there somebody that really sticks out to you just that first time, if it's in Montreal or even in St. Louis?
I mean, in Montreal, yeah, it was an intimidating crowd to walk into for sure. That was a time there was lots of heavy veterans, and at the deadlines, they were always grabbing guys, you know, bringing guys in. And one name obviously stands out was Saku Koivu was the captain when I got there, and with everything that Saku's been through, obviously you look up to a guy like that. And you know, when I did get called up, I was on a line with him and Chris Higgins, I remember, and he was just so open and nice and friendly and joking around. And you know, in practice, you don't want to mess that up, and you don't want to.
Especially in the National Hockey,
right?
You don't want to screw that up.
You want to show your best stuff to guys like that, but he didn't make you feel like you had to, or you know, he gave you shit afterwards. He was just really easy guy to be with.
There's some leaders like that definitely in the National Hockey League. Saku Koivu, who was definitely dependent on as a role model in the National Hockey League, he also battled, cancer as well. You know, he kind of went through a lot himself and was one of the best leaders, you know, and even though he wore a Montreal jersey, it's much like yourself, you have respect for some good talent that was in the National Hockey League. Justin?
I mean, like, in your seasons in the end, were there, like, any other, like, in your first season, were there any players you hit the ice in warm-ups and you, like, saw that player, you're still on the other side of the ice, you're like, whoa, for a second, or was it just business as usual?
Good question. I can imagine if I looked on the other side and number 87 was skating around, I'd be thinking of ways to try to get on TV, if I'm hitting them or if I'm chirping them or whatever it is. I don't know if that went through your mind, but
I wouldn't chirp him because he would just look at me and shake his head. But no, well, for playing against guys and really being in awe of someone, I mean, obviously Chara, when you go beside him, just because he's a monster. Yeah. But guys to play against, like, you can tell that the Sid and Evgeny Malkin, like, they're on another level, man. Like, they're. I got to be there in Pittsburgh for a little bit, you know, and just to see them and the work they put in. That's why they are the best. They're out there early, and I mean, just their speed and their hockey knowledge. It's unreal to see and be a part of. So I was really thankful to, you know, see the best in action, if it was just for a little bit.
The best in action for sure. Going overseas, you know, I'm sure, you know, when you play your overseas in comparison to the National Hockey League, like I've been told by, playing like with Tyler Kennedy's observation towards it, even Zach Turquato's observation towards it, even though he didn't play National Hockey League, but just watching and seeing that North American style compared to the European style, you know, they say that the European style is a fit for individuals that are speedsters, can put the puck in the net, and even sometimes can work hard in the corners, but the body contact isn't as heavy there as it is here, is what they say. So did you have to make that adjustment going over there at all, or is that just a bunch of BS?
Well, the thing is, like, in my leagues and a lot of leagues, there's an import rule, right? So you're only allowed a certain amount from outside the country. And in Switzerland, there's only 4 imports that are allowed to play a game, right? And that's from all other countries. And so you get an import spot like I do have in Switzerland. It's, I hold that as a coveted spot and, something I don't take lightly. So you have to, as an import, you're called on to, score the goals or whatever they hire you to do. You're supposed to be, leading the team kind of ways. So, we've had a great career in Switzerland.
And this year, you're returning back to overseas to play. So, obviously, you love being there, and love being a part of that. How about winning and being a part of that? Is that a big part of you? You're just finding the right fit for now at your point in the career.
Well, it's nice to get a combination of both, right? And right now, the team we're on is fighting, and I believe, the first 2 years I've been there, we haven't been great, but we've been, developing the younger players, and I really do think this year we can take that extra step and do something. We also got another Sioux boy on that team, Nick Plastino, who is one of those guys that I told you about, along with me and Kelsey Wilson, Tyler Kennedy, Jacob King, Mike Malucci, Kyle Rogers, Donnie Bruni, all these guys that
Donnie is doing quite well in Toronto, too.
Yeah, he is. The 1986 crew. So Plasti grew up with us, and he's played everywhere in Europe. He's been to Finland, Slovakia, and now he came to Ambry this year, and we had a great year, and now he's going back for 2 more years, and he couldn't be happier as well. We had a good time this year. 2 Sioux boys in Switzerland playing together. We had a good year.
It's like living the dream, don't you think, Justin? It's like taking our group of friends and going down to play at whatever league or level. I'm not saying that I can play in the professional level, but it's definitely something to enjoy when you play with somebody. And it gives you that sense of comfort, too, like when you have somebody there with, and you also have your wife and children with you, too, which is another additional side of things, which is definitely awesome. Justin?
Well, is there, just to kind of touch on just like the home feeling while you're away and overseas, is there any cities over there that are kind of hockey crazy like the Sioux, or there's the media is ruthless over there, it can be locally or even in the big cities like it was in Montreal?
You know what? There are hockey crazy areas, but it's just another world over there, man. It's nothing like the Sioux. So I know how they are with the Greyhounds and how they can be, but there's great cities there. There's
before you say even that, to continue, I know you were saying before we forget off air that your son playing there. You have an opportunity for him to get his nationality. That's also big, and touched on with Justin's question as well. Being the media there and also being a part of that atmosphere there, having that Sioux connection there, and you building your name there.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact of my son, he plays a couple more years there, and he becomes Swiss eligible for different little things. So it's cool that you see different benefits of another path that you've chosen.
Yeah. Future captain? Should I say he's going to shatter the old man's records out there? You think?
Better than me. Already, he doesn't stop. This guy. He's a sports lunatic, man. He's football to soccer to hockey. He's running around the house all day. So I'm sure I'm not going to push him into hockey by any means.
Yeah, you are.
But I want him to just to see what he loves to do, and right now it definitely is hockey, but we'll see as he goes. Yeah.
We'll pull away from the hockey and the business side of things. We'll jump into. I want to get your reaction about. I don't know how much you've been following about the professional sports. I know you do follow a lot. You follow baseball a lot. An edition that we do talk about on the show here on the Thursday edition a lot. We talk about basketball a lot. You had the Raptors make a big trade yesterday with DeMar DeRozan going to the Spurs, Kawhi Leonard going to the Raptors. It's going to be a big conversation piece for our Wednesday edition. But even with Manny Machado going to the Dodgers yesterday expectedly. But I want to get your kind of reaction on the hockey end on the offseason. If you have been following that a lot. I know you being a Leaf fan, I'm sure you saw that number 91 is now a Leaf. Tavares. Leaf fans are literally planning the parade down Yonge and Dundas. It's a Yonge and Dundas, top of my head, I think at top of my head. If I'm right, I'm sure I'll get told if I'm wrong. But besides the point, the overall reaction for you with the NHL offseason?
Well, it's nice to see another Sioux boy, Kyle Dubas really take, the step of his life, and, what he's done in his short career is amazing. And, obviously learning from Lou Lamoriello, Brendan Shanahan, he's probably learned so much in the last whatever years he's been there. Just, that's great to see what he's doing with an organization like the Leafs. Like you said, being drafted by the Habs and playing there, it kind of ruined my Leaf pride for a little bit. But, now that I'm out of the NHL and although I don't get to watch hockey over there, it's with the time change and all the games are too late. So it's tough for me to, obviously I read the news and stuff, but I think that the Leaf pride is slowly coming back, that's for sure.
They have some amazing talent on that team. Matthews, Nylander, Marner, adding Tavares, they have Riley. Their defense is a big question mark. And I always criticize somebody named Jake Gardiner on this show a whole bunch. But, I'd like this. The Leafs defense, you being a Leaf fan, I'm sure you look at them a little bit extra closely. Are you surprised they haven't made a move on defense yet?
But, like we're talking praising Kyle Dubas, he's not stupid. And, he's looking at his roster every day, all day.
Yeah, he is.
And he's looking at his options in the league and, guys that will be unrestricted after this year or, they're targeting certain guys, and I'm sure that, obviously they'll try to make their moves or whatever they do, deadlines or off season, but they're planning something, that's for sure.
Something is definitely being planned. I know Justin always looks at me when I mention Jake Gardiner because I'm the biggest criticizer of Jake Gardiner. I always say this: the Boston Bruins took the Gardiner Expressway to the second round. That's exactly. Would I be able to dangle Jake Gardiner 1 out of 10? No, I don't know if I'd be able to. I think I'd be able to drop the mitts against him, to be totally honest. I don't know. I'm not Mr. Tough Guy. I know yourself and Carl.
You just can't resist that joke that it's too easy to pass up on.
It's just too easy. Definitely way too easy to pass up for sure. But definitely with the NHL offseason, it's been very exciting. Another Sioux boy, Colin Miller, a good friend of mine and a friend of the show, and who's actually going to be on this Sunday's edition of the show, signed a big contract extension in Vegas. Look at Vegas's growth. I'm sure that surprised you this year, seeing that. And also, just a little shout out to Colin here for locking up a good contract with Vegas.
Absolutely. Me myself was kind of looking all year of when they were going to start their slide, and I think everyone was.
Absolutely.
What they've done, I can't believe it. It was remarkable. So you got to tip your cap to the Vegas organization. Starting with the GM, the coach, everyone just bought in, and you play. That shows if you just. You all buy in, you play a certain system, and you work hard. Guys with no chemistry whatsoever put it together and did it. So, and obviously Colin took his step, which everyone knew that he was taking with Boston even. And, I work out with the guy too. He's an animal. He's dedicated. He's a good kid. I know his family and everything. He's just couldn't happen to a more humble guy. He finally cut his hair because it was getting really long and ridiculous. And he loved putting it up in that little ponytail thing or the head bandana.
The bandana.
I couldn't stand working out next to a guy wearing the head bandana with the locks everywhere. But he signed for $15.5. You can do whatever you want. You can wear the hair long, short. You can shave it right off. You have that freedom.
You do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I'm pretty care with my hair. I like to look good. It's still being a bachelor life though. You still want to look good. Then you let yourself go after. Justin, can you back that up? You let yourself go after or no?
You just keep it status quo. There's my hairline's going down every day here, so I don't got a lot to hold on to as far as that goes. I maintain this chiseled physique. Otherwise, the hair is rough.
I say his physique is like Phil Kessel's.
No.
No. So that's what I'm going to ask you. When you were part of Pittsburgh, the second pair of glasses that fell on the floor here, and I think that broke. I think that one broke. Oh no! When you were in Pittsburgh, you were there with Sid, with Gino. Kessel was not a part of the team. But you played against Phil with Toronto, I believe that would be at the time, who was the only scorer on Toronto at the time. We go down the right side with his 75 flex stick and snipe upstairs. And also you played with Flower, who's absolutely enjoying hockey right now in Vegas. Like, I've never seen anybody love hockey. You played against Muzz, in LA. You got some guys there from the Sioux Ties. Jordan Nolan as well, who just recently signed a contract with St. Louis. Can't forget to give him a shout out too.
When did he do that?
He signed July the 3rd with St. Louis.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he signed a contract in St. Louis. 1 year was $750K with St. Louis. St. Louis has made a lot of noise this offseason. Bozak, Ryan O'Reilly, Jordan Nolan being there. They've also signed. There's more names that'll come to the top of my head while we go here, but getting on track, it's been probably one of the most exciting off seasons in general, especially one of the most proudest ones for Sault Ste. Marie when you really think about it. Dubas gets promoted GM, has a great draft. I don't think he has as good as a draft as the Islanders or Detroit did, to be honest. I think the Islanders had a great draft. But you look at the Hounds getting Sandin was drafted. That's we still consider that part of the Sioux. Dubas being GM, like I said. You have Colin Miller getting that contract. You have Jordan Nolan getting that contract. Yourself still staying overseas. Tyler Kennedy is doing extremely well over in Pittsburgh with his school and being involved in hockey over there as well. You have Muzz, who's absolutely, he's not a product of Sault Ste. Marie necessarily, born and raised, but he's played hockey here with the Hounds, so we consider him part of the Sault Ste. Marie family. And look what he's doing in LA. LA is a very good hockey team who signed Kovalchuk this year. It's just been I think one of the best years or off seasons, if you want to say, of hockey here in Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah, absolutely, and to see more and more guys come up from the Sioux core, like you say, Colin Miller. He's one of those stories like me. I don't know it too well, but he was one of those kind of late bloomer kind of kids as well.
Played for White Pines.
Colin, that's right, played for White Pines. He's been through it all, and look at him. He's signed for 15.5, and the next day he's in the gym working out, and I mean that's Sault Ste. Marie, and it just keeps rolling. I mean, we got hockey players here, and they're willing to work, and they got skill.
Lots of skill, and the Hounds this year did very well, and they lost this year. When the Hounds are going to be part of their the partnership here with the Game Sports Show this year, as announced at the beginning of the show, having Northern Superior Brewery on as a new sponsor. The rumors were true. People were reaching out, asking who the new sponsor is going to be and what's going on. We got some big plans with Northern Superior. People have been asking, when's the beer going to be brewed? That's a very good question. That's all I'm going to say about it right now. It's just very happy to bring them on, and them being partners with the Thunderbirds and with the Hounds and hockey and the Sioux Dags. I'm going to say flat out, I think since the 94 birth year, I'm a 91, so I'm not just putting myself in that. I'm a 91, so the 94 birth year, I want to say that I think hockey has gotten, I'm going to say it, shittier. I know I might getting crap for saying that exact word, but that's the thing. I think the Sioux has went towards not being Hockeytown, Ontario anymore. I think it's been on the descending side of hockey with talent and development in the Sioux, but you got guys like DeLuca, you got guys like Sandra Finley, who developed those power skating schools. You got Miller going out to those schools. Brett Finley, who just signed a contract overseas as well, whom we're going to have on the show later on this month too. So hockey is still good here. It's still, and the development is there in terms of availability for reaching out to certain professionals. But do you think, I know you're out of town overseas, but do you think hockey has descended here in Sault Ste. Marie? Has it gotten less, let's say, serious? Let's say.
You know what? That's tough to comment on. Like you said, I am overseas. I mean, you hear the stories about the drama of minor hockey in Sault Ste. Marie, and I'm thinking, come on, are you kidding me? Yeah. But I mean, I know how parents can be with coaches and this and that, and then you want your son to be the next NHLer. I mean, that's what every parent wants when they think they got a shot. But I don't know. I have not much to say about that, to be honest.
See, I had Hendo on, and when he had Hendo on, it's he was saying if Hendo starts talking to us, he was thinking about how the development went with the descending side, but it's getting better, right? That's why he's coaching. Right. But do you see yourself doing that? That's where the question is more so leading towards was. Do you see yourself coaching hockey when you're done? Is that something you see, or do you see yourself playing then? Focusing on the family side, because coaching does take up a lot of time in your life. Yeah. Like, look at the coaches we've had growing up. You were there when Mike Hall was there, I believe, the Stars, obviously. There's a guy who wasn't married. didn't have that kind of family life, so he was able to offer that time. That's no offense to Mike Hall. He's a friend of mine. I didn't mean any with that, but I can imagine if you have a child, if you have a wife, you have 2 children. So by the time you're done playing, they're going to be in their teens. They're going to be in their college years, which is scary for you to probably think of. So,
you know what? I never saw myself as a coach until recently. I've kind of been thinking about it a little more, and I remember I told myself I'm going to forget all these good hockey drills that I do have. So I got all these, the practice papers, and I started writing some drills down from, I got to play under some great coaches in my time, and just the way they went about practice. You kind of learn stuff from them, and you start thinking, oh yeah, I think maybe I could make a pretty good coach. Yeah. But the thing with coaching, like you said, it's going to start off who knows where, and then if you get better, you're moving on. So it's kind of that same lifestyle. It's, who knows where I'm going to be when I'm done playing hockey, if I'm going to want to keep living that lifestyle of bouncing around, or, it's tough for me to say right now.
I can definitely see you behind the bench.
Yeah.
I can see you with the suit on, the knee on the bench, calling the ref over, probably Troy Miller, or someone like of that, or if it's I guess maybe Judd. He does see behind the bench with that sharp suit on, the pin, the poppy, and the pin. Then you got Kelsey on the left side.
He'll be my team coach.
And you might have Kinger on the right side.
Coaching comes a lot more stress. I don't think we realize as players. You go there and you play and you do what you can for the team, and if you lose, it doesn't feel like it's on you. It's the team. The team took the loss, but I think coaches feel more of that. It was on me, and. I just think it is a little more stressful. I'm trying to, after playing, I want to decrease the level of stress in my life, I think. But
you want to focus on retirement,
per se, everyone wants to focus on retirement, but we'll see when that time comes.
Absolutely. And Dave McCaig with Justin Hykel alongside Matt D'Agostini. Just a couple more things before we let you go, because we do got time limits on shows. We went a little bit above here, already in the 30-minute mark. It's what we're famous here on the show on. We say 15, 20 minutes, ends up being 35, 40. But you get talking, you have some fun. We talked a little hockey here. We're going to kind of talk about a little bit of the baseball side of things with you quick. So I know you said you like following baseball. As we sit here, we currently have the Cubs and Cardinals game going on with the Blue Jays this year. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to ask you flat out. Should the Blue Jays aggressively get rid of Josh Donaldson by any means necessary? Because that guy is probably walking this year.
Well, what's his deal? How many years does he have left with the Blue Jays?
Free agent this year. Coming up. This summer he's a free agent.
Oh, well, they have to get rid of him, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he's had his time with Toronto when we were at that time to make a run, and now he sees that, that organization is starting to slowly do what they did with Cleveland. That's Shapiro with Cleveland.
Yeah.
We're going to start this thing over again with young players and develop it again, and he's not going to be a part of that. He's going to go for, he'll go to free agency, and I bet you right now they're aggressively trying to get rid of him.
Trying to get something for him at least. Are you a believer of that, to get something instead of getting nothing? Because let's get real. You guys, you have Vlad Jr. coming up, who's a liability defensively apparently, but the guy's a truck. And the guy's going to hit homers like 30 plus a year. Okay, he might be the next Blue Jay. Great. Maybe that's a little bit too much pressure to put on the kid right now, but you got to get something for something opposed to getting nothing.
Yeah, but I think everyone knows by time now. He's in a free agency, and no one's going to want to trade away anything for him when they can just wait and pursue him in free agency.
Yeah, good point.
He's probably made it clear that he's heading that way, and not much the Blue Jays can do.
Good point. Last question for you on my end before I go to Justin, the last question. This year's early predictions. We've talked about this, early favorites to win the Stanley Cup, and we really dislike doing predictions on the Game Sports Show, 100%. I know a lot of listeners that we have, which we appreciate having all the listeners that we do, like to get a little bit of criticism towards our early predictions. But you know what? Screw that. I like to say what I like to say on here. That's the fun thing about having a radio show and doing your own thing. Early favorite to win the Stanley Cup this year, if you can think about it. Based on this offseason thus far, does St. Louis have a chance? Does Toronto put them over the top? Does Washington have a chance to repeat? Does Vegas do as good as they did? Does LA have a chance because of Kovalchuk?
Oof. Give me a second right now to think.
You take all the
there
time.
has been a lot of moves.
There has. I put you right on the spot for that one. That's the fun thing.
I think you're going to see a little bit of a letdown from Vegas.
Okay.
Just because they're a little more comfortable, and that's kind of what happens. I don't know. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. And just expect probably Pittsburgh to be there again. I don't think Washington again.
No.
Pittsburgh, obviously. Tampa, out of the Eastern Conference. And I don't even know the West. Yeah, probably LA is going to be good.
Yeah.
San Jose made some moves.
Yeah. They've sent Kane, re-signing Thornton.
I don't know. I think, I love Doug Armstrong. I really give him a lot of credit for my career. I mean, he brought me to St. Louis and, re-signed me there, and I love the guy. But I don't know. It seems like they're trying to find something right now. They're signing a couple different. They're jumping off the board, making a lot of moves.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how that'll all play together. But I love that organization. I always want them to do well. When you start knowing people within the organization, you root for them. Not even the city of St. Louis is awesome. So I'm always on the Blues train.
Before I slide over to you, Justin, I'm co-producer. So hold on a second. Alex Ovechkin this year winning that Stanley Cup. I've never seen a guy party so much in my life. Did you love seeing that passion? And would that be you? Because I know if that was me that won the cup, I would be boozing that cup, drinking out of it 24/7. I wouldn't sleep with my wife if I had one. I'd be with the Stanley Cup 24/7. I'm saying that flat on air. That's fine to say. I'm telling you right now. Having the cup, you just party like it's 1969.
It's funny you say that because I've been watching this whole thing go down, and I played with TJ Oshie there in Washington.
Yeah.
And just such a great guy, and he loves to have a great time. And for him to get this chance, he worked so hard. He's such a skilled guy. He's such an awesome guy, great family, man. To win that cup, to see him partying like he has been, that's got to be awesome to win the Stanley Cup like that. And, I was cheering for Washington this year. I think Ovechkin deserved it. He's worked hard. He's a gamer, man. He wants to win. You see that in his celebrations when someone else scores. He wants to win more than anything. I love that about the guy. He's a warrior, and, good for the Caps this year.
Absolutely. It would have been good to see you win a cup and see you bring it in the Sault to party with it. That would have been something interesting. Justin, final question for Dags before we let him go.
We'll toss a wild card one out here.
Okay.
Sioux boy is going to come overseas. Where should we go?
You're going overseas?
I'll say right now, I'm going to Italy in 2019 in September. But if I had to change the destination, would you recommend Italy, or do you recommend somewhere?
If you're doing the Italy tour, it's great. You hit up those. But if it's winter time and you're an expert skier and you want to come up in the Alps, you come visit me in Switzerland, and it's beautiful there. Nice chalets. These people live it up in Switzerland. It's beautiful.
Oh, live it up. Giving Switzerland the plug, absolutely. I've got to give it to Switzerland there. I've heard a lot of good things. But Dags, we're running low on time here, so I got to let you go. We went 30 minutes almost above time here, but that's what happens. Have a little bit of fun. That's what happens. Let you get back to Tony and your kids and all that. We appreciate you stopping by, my friend.
Thanks, bud. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And we're going to be right back here on the Game Sports Show. We're going to be wrapping up the show in our conclusion portion. I want to thank Matt D'Agostini for coming on by. Make sure you don't go anywhere. Be right back after these messages.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sports Center Bar and Grill. Sports Center Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sports Center rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sports Center, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sports Center Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
Thank you for tuning in to the Game Sports Show. broadcasting Thursday nights from Boston Pizza in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and online at thegamesportshow.podbean.com. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Now, if you want to hear more of the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national talk show involving the world of sports, I encourage you to visit our website, thegamesportshow.com. There you can hear a couple other broadcasts of the Game Sports Show. Monday nights, we do the game from the Wicked Sister on Ashman Street in downtown Sault, Michigan, 6 to 7 o'clock on the radio. WUPN, Eagle 95.1 locally, or online at radioeaglesioux.com. Now, the full 2-hour show can be heard on the podcast page of the game at thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel. Just look for Scott Nason. In that one, as yours truly, along with Dave McCaig and our weekly contributors, Butch Davis from the Telegram News and Butch on Sports, along with EJ Russell on the Team Wireless Hot Seat. We focus on local, regional, and national sports, including high school basketball and hockey, junior hockey, Laker athletics, and the Detroit sports scene. And Mr. Electric Avenue Dave McCaig also broadcasts a show on Wednesday night from Sports Center Bar and Grill in Sault, Ontario, along with his regular contributors Jamie Antonello, Justin Hykel, and Dane Hantro. They focus on football with their In the Pocket segment, talking about the NFL along with basketball and the NBA, and other sports including tennis, golf, soccer, and the WWE. Once again, you can hear all 3 versions of the game at our website, thegamesportshow.com, or our podcast page, thegamesportshow.podbean.com. You can also find us on YouTube. Just look for the Scott Nason channel. And thank you for listening, and keep it locked here to the game for all your local, regional, and national sports talk that you just can't get enough of.
The Wicked Sister, Sault, Michigan. Check TripAdvisor, ranked right towards the top. Awarded the Certificate of Excellence, as well as voted #1 pub in the UP. The Wicked Sister has managed to create a casual menu that offers unique, creative, and sometimes healthy offerings that rivals menu selections of any big city. Burgers and starters, snacks and shareables, soups and salads, sandwiches and tapas. On Ashman Street, Sault, Michigan. Welcome to the Wicked Sister, where you'll be treated like family, whether you like it or not.
Hi, this is Paul Maurice from the Winnipeg Jets, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It is yours truly, David McCaig, alongside Justin Hykel. I want to say thank you to Matt D'Agostini for coming on by here at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie. Dags is always a good time to be around him. You know, we'll always welcome him here on the Game Sports Show. I'm looking forward to having him on again in the near future. And it was an interview that went a little bit longer than expected. You know, our introduction portion was supposed to be ranged about 24 to 28 minutes. It was about 30 minutes. Then, you know, at Dags, we were supposed to be 18, but we went up to the 38 minutes. So we're cutting in on the time, even though we had such a very, a good, quick introduction there that I was pumping myself about. But it seems like got back to the ways of going overtime. But that's the best thing about this. We have all the time in the world here, and believe it or not, we still have about 10 minutes left on the show before I have to wrap it up. So with these final topics, we're going to quickly go through them, and these final topics of the Game Sports Show we're going to discuss here tonight. Justin and I are going to dive into the MLB, as this is the first show since the All-Star break, and since we've really dived into some MLB news, especially with the trade with Manny Machado going over to the Dodgers as expected. I believe in one of the previous editions of the show, I can't remember the exact date. I know producer Ghost might tell me. I think it might be the July 11th edition of the show, where we discussed about it quickly, that I knew that the Dodgers and Yankees were front runners, and that the Yankees were probably going to be able to offer a better deal, but the Dodgers are definitely a team that would have made sense, and ultimately he did end up with the Dodgers. So we're going to get that reaction here on the table for myself and Justin to discuss, along with some Blue Jays news as well, and just some reaction about the MLB All-Star Game and Home Run Derby in general, just quickly. And then, before we close out the show, I'm going to put Justin on the spot about a certain piece of news that happened the last couple days, especially towards Toronto sports. I think I know where everybody is thinking I'm going with that, and I think Justin knows where I'm going to go with that, but you're going to have to wait for another couple minutes before that gets brought up here. But let's say right now, Machado, quote unquote, he said, "I'm ready to win." Manny Machado was introduced in LA, and it was a trade over to the Dodgers, okay, and there he is wearing his, and with him wearing that blue, the Orioles traded 5 prospects: outfielder,
Yusniel Diaz, right-hander Dean Kramer, third baseman Raylan Brennan, and righty Zach Zopp. Zach Zopp is a Canadian, may I add, and also third baseman Brajavik Valera. Good top prospects there, and obviously, you know, the Orioles trying to rebuild after so far this year having an absolute atrocious year. He has a .315 batting average, 24 homers, and 65 RBIs this year, and this is the final year of his contract. And obviously, he will not be wearing his recognized number 13 with the Dodgers. He will be wearing number 8, and people are making jokes about if Kobe Bryant is the reason why he'll be wearing number 8, but guess what? That is the reason. He said a homage to his favorite basketball player and the namesake of his dog, Kobe. Figure that out. And that's about Los Angeles Lakers great Kobe Bryant. So Manny Machado is having an absolute great season thus far, and he's expected to bat second or third in the Dodgers lineup and mostly play shortstop, as Corey Seager is out for the rest of the season. Tommy John surgery early in May, so his subs in for Corey Seager, and third baseman Justin Turner will be on third base. So Manny Machado is expected to play over at short. The Dodgers, who skyrocket a little bit up in the odds to win the World Series with this trade, along with the New York Yankees and also the Houston Astros as well. I guess we can throw the Boston Red Sox there. I know one team you can't throw in that is the Toronto Blue Jays. But with this trade, quickly, Justin, just your reaction, because a little bit thin on time in terms of Manny Machado getting traded to the Dodgers. Seems like these teams that have the money make these trades are making a run for it. And are you surprised he went over the Dodgers, besides the Yankees?
You know, the Yankees can't win them all.
They'll probably sign him in the offseason anyways.
That seems to be the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
Like the Yankees seem to just get all these guys that can crush dingers, and their fans want to, you know, Machado Yankees t-shirts. Well, guess what? It'll eventually happen because they'll sell the merchandise, something like that. But I honestly think this is just kind of like a reemergence of the LA sports scene and what's going on here. Like the Dodgers are making a big push now. The Angels, you know,
Lakers.
Like the Lakers, you know,
Yeah,
with
Lakers.
the LeBron thing going on. For a while, the LA Kings were legitimately the hottest ticket in town as far as sports goes. You wanted a championship team, you wanted something to watch. I mean, no, not to discredit the Lakers at all. Like, let's be honest here. The Lakers have had their time to shine along with Kobe for about 18, 20 years of Kobe.
Yep.
So, you know, it wasn't just the LA Kings. But I'm a hockey guy, so I default to wanting to praise a hockey team. But you know, even now with the Rams and the Chargers in town, the LA sports crowd is getting pretty. You're clawing for fans, so you bring a guy like Machado into town, and you're going to be the draw for the next little bit. And you know what? If you're successful in doing that, and the team makes a decent run this year, then guess what?
Maybe he resigns.
You know, maybe he likes the environment there. A lot of other guys in different sports seem to think that LA is an okay place to be. California is not too bad.
No, it's not.
You know, the media there seems a little relaxed. So maybe it's a good fit. I mean, we'll see. That's for sure.
Manny Machado hoping to continue his hot bat, as you know, he is expected to play against the Brewers in this upcoming series for the Dodgers. Now, with the MLB right now, okay, the trade deadline, we're expecting a lot of moves in terms of, well, what's going to happen. You know, there's a lot of trade talk that are happening in the MLB. A lot of trade stocks that are rising, a lot of players, but notable players that are potentially available for trade. And a lot of these players on the list are some big names. Zach Britton of the Baltimore Orioles, a guy that a lot of Blue Jays fans remember that didn't put Britton in the game that allowed Edwin Encarnacion to do the bat drop and to move on in that second time the Blue Jays made a run in the playoffs. Cole Hamels, Wilson Ramos, JT Realmuto, and Brian Dozier and Mike Moustakas, Dozier, and Realmuto being guys who really stick out of that list. Brian Dozier, one of the top second basemen in the league. But Mike Moustakas is a big power hitter. I wonder if the Yankees are going to try to dig in and bring in one of these guys to bring in a run, or if even the Red Sox might dabble, or if the Houston Astros might dabble. And there's also trade chip with Urias Familia. And you know what? Jake DeGrom and Noah Syndergaard. If anyone brings up those names of the Mets, you're absolute fool. If the Mets trade one of those two guys, are absolutely stupid. But one pitcher that might be on the move is Chris Archer. Do the Rays consider trading him? I really think they should. It's been a rumor for the last couple of years. But a team that is looking for maybe to add a pitcher is the New York Yankees. And they've been pinpointed with the Toronto Blue Jays with J.A. Happ. Madison Bumgarner is not available from the Giants. And a fun fact, Madison Bumgarner, the Jays could have traded Travis Deneau, and they could have made that trade that they did for R.A. Dickey. Travis Deneau and Noah Syndergaard, they could have made that trade to the San Francisco Giants, but they made it to the Mets for R.A. Dickey. I know you can't tell at the time, but I even said, when they almost had those, you can look at those old rumors in the archives that Madison Bumgarner, I said, this guy's going to be an absolute truck. And I don't know, he's won 2 or 3 World Series? 3? Yeah. He's won a lot of World Series, and he's won MVPs. I wish they would have went that route, but obviously the Giants are going to trade such the caliber of Bumgarner. I don't think the Giants are ready to face that rebuild stage yet of that. But you also got the Cardinals, Carlos Martinez. The Yankees are going to get to Grummer Syndergaard. They're really going to focus on J.A. Happ, I think, and because I think that's the most realistic guy that they are going to be going after. You have Jose Abreu, the White Sox first baseman that apparently the Houston Astros are definitely exploring. And when it comes back to Ramos and Zach Britton, the Astros are down that road as well. But, we look at Brian Dozier. There could have been something there for the Dodgers before Manny Machado went in there. But, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to trade Dozier, I think, and find the right fit. But I think a team like maybe the Cubs might jump into that, take that kind of risk because he can move around the field. I even think the Phillies and the Giants will also be in on that as well. So, very active deadline I think that we're going to have. I think it's going to be one of the most exciting deadlines coming up today, and hopefully I am correct because the MLB deadline is not as big in Canada, let's say, when it comes to the trade frenzy. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of good names that are available for trade. What do you think some of the players that are available, where are they going to go? Who do you think they're going for? And does what player on the list that I've just mentioned are the ones that are available out of the 6, which one really stands out to you, the listeners? Now, quickly to the Toronto Blue Jays before we go to our final question to you, Justin, before we sign off tonight's show here at Boston Pizza. The Toronto Blue Jays are going to round up there and really say that we just had Matt D'Agostini comment on the Toronto Blue Jays. They currently have a 43 and 52 record, and they go into action tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. First pitch, the game currently on with the Toronto Blue Jays and the Baltimore Orioles right now. I don't know why I was saying first pitch there. Getting a little laugh in the background here, but the Toronto Blue Jays playing against the Baltimore Orioles, a team that they should walk through in the series, and I just hope that if they sweep the Orioles or if something happens here, that I don't think they're going to try to make a run for the wild card, because the Orioles are 28-69, having the worst season basically in the MLB this year. And I really think the Toronto Blue Jays have to start thinking not full-fledged rebuild, but enough retooling. And you know what? Some points that we saw on Sportsnet today, we saw the DJ's 9 reasons to still watch the Toronto Blue Jays, and we got a good chuckle here off air with that. And there's not a long lineup at the Rogers Center. It keeps the jobs at Rogers Media. Also, you can maybe see Vlad Jr. at some point, but the only time we're going to see Vlad Jr. is at the roster extension in September, I think. But at the end of the day, the Toronto Blue Jays have to make moves, and they should get whatever the heck they can get for Josh Donaldson, because they need to do that. I know people are going to wonder, what if you can't get anything for him? You could. I don't care if you get a Pepsi Cola and a Molson Canadian along with a Northern Superior beer on top of that, or if you get a hat from Gallivan International that Justin's currently wearing right now. I don't care what hat you get for Josh Donaldson. Point is, you move him for whatever the heck you can get him for right now, because he's not going to re-sign in Toronto. I love Donaldson. I loved Bautista. That was my favorite player, was Jose Bautista. I was obsessed with Jays growing up, but when Jose went there, I loved it. I remember him staring down Tampa Bay after he got that home run. I loved that bat flip, every little reason. Gibbons, I wasn't a fan of the rehiring. He won't be back next year, I don't think. But Osuna, the situation's happening there. There's a lot of things that are happening there with the Toronto Blue Jays that just need to kind of say halt and move some contracts. You got to think the veteran players do have to get moved. Donaldson. Do they move Stroman? That's the rumor. I don't think they should. I really don't think they should. I think that'd be stupid if he was having a bad year. He loves the Blue Jays. He's young. I think he should stay there. That pitching, next maybe they're having a bad year this year. Maybe next year they're dynamite. And if they have a decent enough team next year, maybe they make a run for a wild card next year. But besides that, Josh Donaldson has to be moved out of anybody on that roster. Justin, do you have to agree with that? Like I know Dags touched on that a little bit. We kind of discussed it in our interview with Dags there as we kind of veered off from hockey a little bit with him. But to his request, obviously, because we wanted to talk a lot of some baseball as well. Do you believe in making that move, getting some for something? Because they're not in a playoff position.
Well, I mean, just if we're gonna cite some recent, situations, how happy are the Islanders that Tavares just walked out the door and said, "See ya"? I mean, publicly, there, we're happy for John. We're really excited about this. And behind doors, they're probably like, "Fuck, we just lost a generational talent." Like because we don't have a goddamn arena to play in. Or because we promoted a backup goalie 75 years ago to general manager and he doesn't know how to tie his shoes. There's a reason you bring Lou Lamoriello in. He's he's a closer. He comes so. It got a little off topic, but as far as the Jays go, you have to. Someone's going to give you something for Donaldson. Whatever that is, you have to take
the best one.
Because essentially right now he's taking meaningful reps in a roster spot. Well, not necessarily because I think he's still in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Conditioning.
Whatever the heck he's doing.
A tanning
buying
stint.
his time,
A tanning stint. The old McCaig tanning stint down in Florida there.
Oh, baby, yeah. Hell yeah, that'd be me. Dr. Summeroff.
Well, but really, though, you have to take something in. If you're not going to re-sign a guy like that and he's going to go and he's going to draw interest from other teams, you're stupid to try and get something for him. And that being said, maybe there's not deals out there to be able to do this to, appease us fans, but at least let us know that you tried.
Yeah. I like that. Like you tried. But there's players that could move, and the players are Josh Donaldson for sure that they should consider moving on. I'm also pretty game about them looking to move Curtis Granderson, get him to a chance to go win a World Series. A chance, I know maybe the Houston Astros, if they're kicking tires at Granderson, I think that'd be a good move as well. I'm also a fan of them maybe moving Justin Smoke. I know he's one of the best defensive first basemen in the league, but I think that'd be a decent option as well. It just depends what you can get for him. And J.A. Happ. Those are the guys I'm looking at. If somebody gives you an offer for Russell Martin as well for that atrocious contract, you move it. But realistically speaking, two guys that I expect to be moved at the deadline, Josh Donaldson and J.A. Happ, better be what are the two players that for sure better be moved. And I would call that a very successful deadline. If you can't move too low, I understand the guy's a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
He hasn't proved his worth. You're not going to get much for him. If somebody wants to take too low, you let them. Right now, I wouldn't have said that 2 years ago, obviously, but you know what? We made those runs, or 3 years ago, sorry. We made those runs to win a World Series. Didn't work out for us now. Now we can focus on maintaining relevance in the league to be successful and have a chance to win a World Series sooner rather than later, opposed to waiting 20 more years to get into the playoffs. So, Josh Donaldson and J.A. Happ got to be the guys out the door, especially with Donaldson being a free agent this year as well. So, you got to move that and be prepared at the end of the year that John Gibbons gets moved. If you move Stroman, I will be absolutely infuriated. I haven't been a fan of the move in terms of the management of the Blue Jays, but professionally speaking, I can't rant as such with that, but I can criticize, and I will criticize that I've second-guessed some of the moves that they have made, and I hope they make the right ones in this deadline to better our prospect pool going forward, because we have some very sick players coming up, baby. Let me tell you, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be a very good ball team very, very soon again, and that'll be spearheaded by Bo Bichette and Vlad Jr. Justin, final topic. We're moving on from baseball. I've already given a plug out into the world of baseball with my Renegades going 15 and 14. So we're not going to jump into that, and yours truly continuing his hit streak. I know that's a local baseball front. We're trying to get into more baseball news here locally here on the Game Sports Show, and as the summer goes on, we will do so. But that's the only kind of thing I'm going to say for the local baseball end is that David McCaig, yours truly, has extended his hit streak in Men's League Open Baseball, and the Renegades improved to above 500 in second place in the league, continuing their dominance on the top of the conference. Just kidding, no, we're in second place. But definitely come on out and watch some of the baseballs Tuesdays or Thursdays at 8:30 at Ram Field at Strathclyde. Producer Ghost is laughing. Justin, my question to you before we wrap up the show here tonight. It's one that's related to the Wednesday show. And I'm asking this because I want to make a teaser for the Wednesday show right now. I want a little tease. And people that are listening to the other end are like, oh, Dave, don't say that. Because they're thinking inappropriate things. Relax. Not thinking tease that way. I just want you to be like, wow, I want to get Justin's reaction. Because, Justin, you will not be there this upcoming Wednesday. So I want to get your reaction on the Raptors trade. DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and a first-round pick that's protected in the top 20. And if it's out of the top 20, it turns into 2 second-round picks. The Raptors get Kawhi Leonard, arguably a top 3 player in the NBA when he's healthy, and Danny Green. I want to get your reaction on what you feel about the trade. And I know there's a lot of naysayers about this trade and a lot of question marks. And my comments that are going to follow are going to be summarized and not given, let's say. I'm going to give a couple points because I have much to say on the Wednesday show and I'm going to save it. But I want to get your opinion on the trade that Masai Ujiri has pulled off. And quote unquote, do you believe in Kawhi or do you not believe in Kawhi? And somebody can try to find on social media somebody did say that.
Well, I mean, I'm going to start with the piece that stood out to me. And I mean, everybody who listens to the show knows how uncomfortable I am in basketball conversations because I watch March Madness and the playoffs, and that's about it. But what I mean, having watched a lot of the playoffs, I've seen the Spurs quite a bit. And to me, Danny Green was a steal in this deal for the Raptors. I mean, the Raptors giving away that first-round pick is a bit of a
protected
to me. I think they got rid of him. Kind of crappy contract with DeRozan, to be honest, for a guy who's a top 25 player in the rest of the league. Honestly, maybe top 20, but I don't. Without the supporting cast, we don't know how he plays. You know, we don't know how he is outside of the bubble of Toronto. So we'll see how that goes. If they can sell Kawhi on Toronto and he can stay healthy, I think it's a good deal. But I really do, I want to touch back on the Danny Green thing. He kills it on threes. He's more than responsible playing defense.
That's the player of the year.
Yeah, he's like.
What are the Raptors' problems?
Well, and you know what? He's a perfect role player for a team that's looking to be a contender. Because the Raptors don't have a lot of role players. They got personalities, but they don't have guys that fit a certain role, punch the clock, and bring their lunch pail into work. And you know what? I think Danny Green's one of those guys. If you can hit a home run with the Kawhi deal, then you do. But I don't want the Danny Green thing to be overshadowed. That's what I took from it. There's a lot of nonsense associated with Leonard being traded to the team. He's not going to play in Toronto, this, that, and the third thing. And I'm honestly on board with G's train of thought in our little chat there that they should flip him to LA. Kuzma and that package.
Ingram.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. And you don't have to worry about the shit show that ensues with, I'm not going to play here. I'm going to be injured for 60 games, but I'm not, Yeah. Toronto's not a team that puts up with that, or a city that puts up with that as far as their athletes go.
Yeah.
They'll burn you pretty quick. So if you're already burning the city, then it's tough for these fans to welcome you with open arms too, right?
Now, to say quickly to wrap up, because I obviously said I wouldn't dive into saying people have said how he's a franchise player, one of the best players to play in a Raptors jersey. I get it. I'm a fan of DeMar DeRozan, but what if the Raptors can sell Toronto to Kawhi and re-sign him? How that future would continue to look. I don't know if you want me to read something to you before I read off my comments. I gotta say right now that the Raptors made a trade that I am on the fence about, and you'll have my reaction more on Wednesday. But I'm also very excited to see Kawhi sign or play in Toronto this season, because I think he is going to play this year and he'll be healthy. And I think it's with him healthy, it's a top 3 player in the NBA and gives him a chance to go to the finals where they will play Golden State. But let me read something to you before we wrap up the show. Their starting lineup: Kyle Lowry. Not your starting lineup. This is their bench. Sorry, let me refine. Out of these players, choose your Raptors starting 5. And yes, I'm taking this from Sportsnet because I am allowed to do that. Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Jalen Wright, Danny Green, Anunoby, Shaquem, Kawhi Leonard, Valanciunas, and Ibaka. Now, are those 9 players I have listed? Those are some damn good basketball players. So let me tell you, despite this move, Kawhi Leonard is better than DeRozan. So the Raptors are better today. I'll leave with that train of thought, as we will get into that more on the Wednesday show of the Game Sports Show at Sports Center Bar and Grill this upcoming week. That'll be Wednesday, July the 25th, where Jamie, myself, and Matt Primo will be talking football and we'll be talking basketball. We know what topics going to be taking over that basketball segment. But I want to give a shout out to Scott Nason, our board operator tonight. I want to give a shout out to Matt Pegassini for coming on by for an interview here today. I want to thank Justin Hykel for always coming by, and I'm going to say bye in just a few minutes. A few moments. Sorry, I should say a few minutes. A few moments. And I want you to make sure that you come on down to Boston Pizza and visit the Bring Your Beer and the Boston Pizza staff, and you come enjoy their daily specials and the great atmosphere here at Boston Pizza. And obviously, thanks to our sponsors, Sports Center Bar and Grill, Boston Pizza, obviously, North Shore Sports and Auto, the Superior Pro Shop, the Salon, Discover the Canvas, with the Wicked Sister, Pingator Cleaners, Big Brother, Big Sister, Sault Ste. Marie, Northern Quitters in Need, KBX, and Silver Creek Golf Course, and of course, the new sponsor, the new partner here on the Game Sports Show, Northern Superior Brewery. And make sure you get out to the Rotary this weekend. Great time going on there. And also, July the 22nd, which is on Sunday, make sure you go down to PetSmart. Look at Northern Quitters and Needs Facebook page. They got an event going on there. Make sure you bring your dog, and make sure you bring some friends and go on and check out Northern Quitters Needs an event at PetSmart on July the 22nd. Look at their Facebook page for more details as well. You've been listening to The Game Sports Show on thegamesportshow.podbean.com and www.thegamesportshow.com. Make sure to look at our merchandise tab in terms of ordering a $25 shirt with 100% of proceeds going towards charity. We'll be at Silver Creek this upcoming Sunday, the 22nd at noon. Myself, Justin, and Brad, along with Colin Miller as well. Then Monday at the Wicked Sister. Following Wednesday at Sports Center Bar and Grill. And then next week, we plan to be at Silver Creek on Thursday, and then Boston Pizza on Sunday. Justin, I'm going to say bye to you here, my friend, and we will be seeing you Sunday at Silver Creek.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. Not with bells on, but I'll be there.
You'll be there maybe with your golf clubs. And speaking of golf clubs, make sure you answer our trivia question that was on the previous edition of the Silver Creek page, or the Silver Creek show, rather. The trivia question was, what was the amount of wins that new Greyhound coach John Dean got with the Toronto Patriots last season and his Coach of the Year season in Southern Ontario's Toronto Patriots junior hockey team? You can answer that on the Game Sports Show, ssm@gmail.com, and have a chance to win a free round of golf courtesy of Silver Creek Golf Course. Now, get into the usual conclusion portion of the show. Get the drum roll. Thanks, just a little minor drum roll. Keep your stick on the ice. Swing your bat. Catch your touchdowns. Drain your threes. And shoot your shots. Booyah.